I am Asafa. I am going to present the paper presentation assignment. Ni hao, 我叫 Asafa, 我来自 Ethiopia, 我是学生，国立清华大学。How the paper title that I'm selected is Securing Multimedia by Using DNA-based Encryption in the Cloud Computing Environment. So the authors of the paper have been listed here, and the paper details have been found here. And the presentation outline, I go through the introduction, method, experiment, and conclusion. And to say something about the cloud computing environment. In the cloud computing, there are different types of cloud. There will be a cloud, private cloud, public cloud, and community cloud. And in cloud computing, there are three basic components or elements have been found. There is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So the paper focused on the securing multimedia files. So when you say multimedia, it's a combination of texts, audio, video, and graphics, and that can be played or displayed with interactivity in a computer or electronic devices. So the multimedia files or contents have been stored on the cloud with different file formats like MP4, MPEG, and MP3, and different multimedia file formats. So to store the multimedia content or multimedia file on the cloud, the main concern is security of the multimedia files or contents. So security is a great issue. So nowadays cloud computing is as a benchmark to store multimedia files. So to do that, there is a great number of distributed and parallel computers that have been interconnected on the cloud. So there is utility computing, virtualization, network system, distributed processing. So the combination of all these components gives a service like storage space service, server, and network hardware, and pay-per-use service on the cloud. And the motivation of this paper, due to the evolution of large number of real-time data, due to that, the size of the multimedia files have been increasing day to day from gigabytes to petabytes. So most of the files, like multimedia files, have been transmitted through the internet. So this is vulnerable to hackers and attackers. They are trying to access the personal and confidential data without any authorization or without any permission or without any privilege. So maintaining this multimedia files, there is a great security technique should be required. So to do that, there is a proposed method, that is DNA based multimedia security encryption scheme. So this proposed scheme have been used to protect multimedia files in the cloud computing environment. So the methodology that have been taking into account the previously conducted research. So this listed methodology have been tried before with previous methods. So in the previous methods, the security of multimedia data or multimedia content is a major issue, and that have been taken as a gap or a limitation. And in comparison with DNA computing usage with previous methods, and finding out the limitations of that methods. So the methods have been listed here, and each methods have been listed with its along its limitations. So from the previous methods, the main limitations have they take a lot of time for secret key generation, secret key retrieval, multimedia encryption, and multimedia decryption have been a main issue. So to fill that gap, so the experimental setting shows that there is system model have been developed with proposed method DNA based multimedia security. So in this system model, there are three elements have been identified, or three main components: the cloud service provider, the data owner, and the user. So the integration of these three components have used to secure the multimedia files. So another issue is the system requirement and design goal. So in this element, the fine-grained access control with main responsibility of the cloud service provider for giving guarantee for the authorized users, and the security to protect from hackers, and reducing the system's overhead have been tried. And this is the proposed scheme and the workflow of the proposed method. So this method it takes a long process actually. So there is a data owner, there is the the cloud service provider, and the user. So the interaction of these three basic elements. So to access the multimedia files, so the main phases are preparing system setup, and requiring registration, and requiring login, DNA based access key or secret key is required, multimedia storage on the cloud is required, and at the end accessing multimedia file is by the user is required. So when you see the security analysis in comparison with existing and the proposed scheme, so the existing scheme don't support the randomness during the assigning of DNA security or DNA base. So the existing scheme are not secured in terms of this listed security attacks, and on the other hand, the proposed scheme have been secured in terms of stolen verifier attack, collision attack, massacre attack, phishing attack, and password requesting attacks. And the performance of this proposed method that have been conducted using the Cloud SIEM toolkit with 3.03 version, with main components. They included the cloud information service, data center, host, broker, cloudlet, and virtual machine manager. The data center may contain multiple hosts, and each host have multiple virtual machines, and the data center broker that used to facilitate the exchange between the multimedia files from the cloud information service and between the external cloudlets. And the result shows that the comparison of users with key generation time and users with key retrieval time. So the key generation time with milliseconds. Here this curved line shows the proposed method, which is effective than the previous one. Here is also shows effective or shortest key retrieval time, and here is also the encryption time and decryption time, which is the proposed method shows an effective encryption and decryption time. So to conclude, with the advancement of IT, cloud service users become significantly increasing, and cloud computing have become an emerging technology, and it have been taken as a hot research issue. So to say something about the gaps that found in this research, different research have been conducted or tried, but there is securing files on the cloud computing environment is also identified as a gap. So in the proposed method of this paper, there is a long process that takes to approve the user's request by the data owner. So this process should be minimized using effective method, and on the other hand, the data owner should be online, or the time to generate the secret key for the users to access the multimedia file. So this is another gap, and that needs further research. to get access data when the data owner becomes offline.